Hello everyone and welcome back. And today we're going to continue our video series on Local by Flywheel. And we are going to go over how to set up preferences and how to create a blueprint of your WordPress site so you can duplicate it. As always, if you like the content here, please hit the subscribe button and click the bell notification. And with that, let's get started. Okay, here is where we left off in the last video, and if you would like to catch up, I will put a link in the top right hand corner right now to that video. And what we found out is when you hit create a new site and you hit continue, the preferred setting comes up as default, and here is their local site environment that they suggest. And what we had to do was hit custom and then change it to what we wanted to match our hosting environment. So what we're going to do right now is change the site preferences to where custom comes up by default. And you do that by going to the top left hand corner of the application. If you're on a Windows machine, there's a little hamburger icon, and you could click on that and drop down and hit preferences. And if you're on a Mac, go up to the main menu, hit Local by Flywheel, and click Preferences. Now here, like some of the things you can do is you can change the theme to light and dark. And there's other things that you can do and change, but we're going to concentrate on new site defaults, and then later on, we're going to concentrate on creating a blueprint. So click New Site Defaults, and you can see Preferred is what comes up by default. We're going to change that to Custom. And then some of the things that you can change is your admin email, if you want to change that. You can change your domain suffix if you like, and you can change your site path of where all the local sites are saved at. And then in custom environments is what we're going to concentrate on. I'm going to change my PHP version back down to 7.0.3. I'm going to leave my SQL version the same, but you can go to 5.6. And then I'm going to change my web server down to Apache. We're going to hit apply. Now we're going to get out of this. And now when we go create a new site, you hit continue, and your custom is the default. And here are the versions that we set up. Now, if anything changes, if your web hosting company upgrades and you need to change these settings, you can go back, of course, and change them there. And you also have the option you can change everything back right here. And then you just hit continue, and it will go out and set up that local environment and download WordPress and everything else it does to set up your new site. Now let's go and set up a blueprint. Okay, now I want to show you how to create a blueprint. Now, why would you want to create a blueprint? Well, let's say that you create a site with the same theme and the same plugins, or at least the same basic plugins every time. Well, you can set it up where local will go out and download that theme and download all those plugins that you use every time it creates a new site. Same thing if you're a web developer. Let's say you work on different genres and you can do real estate or an e-commerce site or a web services site. You can set up a blueprint for each one of those and have the basic themes and plugins that you use for each site. And when you create an e-commerce site, for example, you can choose that e-commerce blueprint. It'll go out and download the theme that you use and the basic plugins that you start with, and you're just that much further into the process. And this is relatively simple. You can right click here and hit Save as Blueprint. But as you can see, it's grayed out, and the reason it's grayed out is because we haven't started this site yet. So we want to select the site, and then the top right hand corner you want to hit Start Site. And now the local environment is on, and we can go to the admin just like we would a regular site. And now we can, for example, go to Appearance and Themes. We're going to clean these up a little bit by deleting these. And then we're going to add our theme of choice, which is Astra. And this works just like it does if you were on a live server. So we're going to install it and activate it. And then plugins. And you can look at install plugins and you can see local does not install any plugins by default, which is convenient. So we're going to add new. And let's say we need an SEO plugin that we start with. You want to install and activate it. And maybe something to speed up our site. Same thing, install it and activate it. And let's do a backup. Now, depending on how far you develop a site, if you're actually going to need the SEO plugin activated or the backup plugin activated, that's up to you. But it will at least get it installed. That way, when you migrate the site from your local to your web server, it'll migrate with them. Don't need all that. And there we go. So we've got our theme in there. We've got a few plugins in there that we start with. So we're going to get out of there. Now we're going to go to our site. We're going to save as blueprint. We'll name it standard and save blueprint. So now that the blueprint's saved, we can go to add a local site. We'll add another test site. Now under the advanced options, you can choose the blueprint that we just created and create site from blueprint. And we'll let it do its thing here, and I'll be right back. Okay, all finished, and there you can see the site that we just created. It's already running, so we're going to click on admin. We're going to sign in. And it's going to have the same admin and password as the site that you created the blueprint off of. Now, if we go to appearance and themes, you can see the Astra theme is here and the other two are deleted. If we go down to install plugins, you can see that the install plugins are here and ready to go and already activated. Now, if you didn't have them activated, obviously they would come in deactivated as well. But hopefully you can see that is a huge time saver. If there are certain plugins that you use every time or a certain theme that you use every time, and it didn't take up that much longer for it to install, and it can be extremely helpful especially if you develop for different types of sites. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have, please hit the subscribe button down below and maybe give me a like. And till next time, see you.